Hey guys, I'm Matt Salsamendi. I'm one of the co-founders of Mixer, and you're listening to the Party Chat podcast.
Xbox on.
Hello and welcome to Xbox One Party Chat Podcast, the official podcast of the Xbox One subreddit. I'm your host, Ross Miller, and I'm joined by everyone's favourite uncle. It's Uncle Jesse.
Hey now.
And our lord and savoury snack, Jesus Christ himself, it's Rhys.
Hey now.
And the queen of cosplay, it's Carina.
Hey now.
Hey.
We've started a thing and this gets weirder every week.
Yeah, I'm the only person that doesn't say hey now. I should start at the beginning saying hey now, you're listening to the Party Chat podcast.
You gotta say it real slow and sensual like.
Hey now.
There we go.
Wait it on. Something for the ladies, I write, until they see me.
Yeah. Thanks for podcasting.
Now, later on, we've got an amazing interview with one of the co-founders of Mixer. It's Matt Salsamendi. And you may have noticed that we did have some different intro music this week. That is actually Dolphin's Adventure made by Matt himself. So thank you very much for providing that music. But before we move on to the interview, we usually get things started with what we've been playing. And Jesse, it's been a couple of weeks, so I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, I have been playing not a whole lot because I was at the New York Comic-Cons and was getting prepped and ready for the Comic-Cons, my first con of any kind, and doing the whole big cosplay thing, did the whole full-on Thor Ragnarok outfit from head to toe, literally head to toe.
You're wearing boots?
I had boots on, and then I put
3D
foam all over the boots to make them look kind of like his in the movie.
Dude, you look freaking cool, I have to say.
Thank you. It was a blast. It was a nightmare doing. Mental note, do not wait until like the week before to really start going on all the projects. It sucked up so much time. Even when I got to New York City from my hotel, I've got a photo that I've got to post. My hotel room was an absolute disaster. There's like foam cut up everywhere and Velcro strips everywhere. I had 2 things of empty cases of super glue. And by the way, the other thing that I've very much underestimated, anybody ever thinking about cosplaying, consider how much you're going to sweat throughout the
God.
day. I was the sweatiest person I've ever been in my entire life.
Oh man, it's awful.
Ridiculous. But it was an amazing experience though. Well worth it. Well worth the sweating, well worth the standing, well worth the posing. It was just an awesome time posing with kids and other cosplayers and other random people. Saw so many cool outfits. They had a bunch of games there actually as well. Didn't get any hands-on time with anything since the lines were just stupidly long, but it was such a absolutely fun experience. And I did see Cuphead there. Literally, I saw 2 people dressed up like Cuphead, and it was really cool. Okay. I'm going to dig through my camera and see if I can find some photos of it. They did a great job on the costumes.
Looking forward to seeing those. I was going to say, Carina, I'm sure you know those last minute feels of.
Oh yeah, I have an emergency DIY kit.
Oh, nice.
That I take with me.
You know what was really cool, Carina, is at the show, they had a booth dedicated to, you just walk up to the booth. If you have any repairs that you need to have done, like sewn up or taped up or whatever, they had people there that would help you with repair your costume, which was pretty.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I got to go in there and throw down some duct tape real quick. Even though I had some in my back, it was kind of like in an angle I couldn't get to without someone else's assistance. It's just, I felt horrible being like, do you mind touching back here where it's ripping? It's a little sweaty, just a little sweaty.
My pirate cosplay at Gamescom was held together with like 500 safety pins.
Much better idea. And by the way, super glue and hot glue, just basically dissolve under an immense amount of sweat. I need to learn how to sew. Is what I need to do.
Pleasant.
Yes, indeed.
Carina, what about you?
I haven't played that much actually this week. I don't think I've even been on. Oh no, wait, I did go on Destiny, just to do some milestones.
I did.
But I actually tried out Fortnite's new Battle Royale mode. Me and Ross decided to give it a go. That was pretty funny. We did okay. There was one match where we managed to come in the top 10. I don't think I ever got a kill in any of the games. I chose the hidden method. I think we just stayed in an attic for one of the games for like 3 quarters of it.
You actually blocked ourselves into an attic.
Made us win, get close to winning though.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, obviously there's the thing about it being like PUBG and all that, but especially if you get near the end of the round, the building aspect does actually come into handy. So no, yeah, I really enjoyed giving that a go because I've actually never played PUBG either or Battle Royale or anything like that type of thing. So to have that experience, it's really fun to just have a play, especially when, like you say, teaming up with Ross. It'd be good if we could get like everyone on to have a go.
Is that like some sort of hint?
Yeah, get on.
well, copy. Actually, I want to quickly ask you. You said that towards the end of the game that base building comes into play. Does that mean that the arena does not shrink like it does in PUBG?
Yeah, it does, but it's more of I don't know, like it either goes one of two ways. Right near the end, as it gets smaller, you're either potluck with where you pick. I mean, I think we dropped at a place once that ended up being the pinpoint of the circle at the end, but we died halfway through. We just watched the end of the rest of the map. But no, either way, it's two ways. One way is you use it to just hide yourself. Like we say, we hid in an attic by just literally you just repatch all the walls and build traps around. Or another way is to actually build a base just to make sure you're caved in, or if anything, to drive the player one way through, like, into the circle as such. Because obviously they've got to come in as the circle gets closer, but then there's nothing worse than if someone's bashing down a wall, they can get heard. So obviously if you make some sort of pathway, they'll probably most likely choose the pathway rather than bashing down a door or a wall, because they'll get heard over just, walking around. But then at the same time, it's an obvious trap. So I don't know, it makes things a bit more tactical. Or just to get yourself higher ground. I've seen, we watched one where they won the game and they were actually out of the storm, the circle right at the end, but what they built themselves like basically a watchtower type thing and just sniped from above. Okay. So obviously by the time, no one would have really got to them, because by the time they would have either died from the circle or been shot in the meantime. So yeah, it works a variety of ways actually. It's quite interesting to see that aspect. At the beginning, not so much. It's only really when you get down to the last maybe 20 people, maybe a bit less than that.
Okay. Because it would suck to build like a giant castle and then just have the thing move and be like, well, I'm abandoning all that work.
Yeah, it is a bit potluck. But no, we've had one or two good times where like we say, there was one where we actually dropped right on the centre point. But we died midway as some people came up behind us. I jumped very easily as well on that game. When people just shoot you out of nowhere.
The snipers love a high platform. They are always building like quite high platforms to sit on, I noticed in the game. You see a tower getting built, you're like, I'm staying well away from that or hiding behind a tree, because the chances are you're going to get sniped. Rhys.
Me? I have been playing Cuphead. I gave Cuphead a try. Am I the only one here who's played Cuphead yet?
No, I've played it.
Oh,
you
no.
played it.
I've been playing it as well. Yep.
Oh, wait, actually, no, we talked about Cuphead a little bit last week. I remember now.
Yes.
And I was excited to hear what Clay had to say, because you had been playing it, but...
Yeah, it is hard as balls.
Oh, yeah. Big sweaty balls.
I can't beat this flower guy, man. I refuse to dumb it down and go on. You know how there's the two options? I refuse to play a level on the simple mode. I was like, I'm just going to keep grinding through this and eventually I'll get it. What I need to do is I think I need to go unlock some new abilities.
Yeah, you do. You sound like a certain female person who occasionally podcasts. Can't remember her name. Kind of stubborn. Gets stuck on things like this. I wonder who it could be. I'm talking about Carina.
I really didn't think you were then. I thought you were about someone totally different.
I know. I wondered where you were going with that.
Yeah. I was like, is that going to be me?
Yeah,
No, it's Carina, because she gets stuck on when a game is hard. You get really vicious about beating it. You know, a turbo tunnel.
Yeah. Oh,
Carina.
We don't speak about that.
Carina, it's time. It's time.
What, for a rematch?
No, you know what it's time for. So what was your time in Turbo Tunnel?
Which one?
Carina, I think you've got a confession to make.
Maybe.
What's this?
So for anyone that doesn't know, we done a charity stream and we all had a challenge about doing the Turbo Tunnel, which I, of course, won.
Of course.
I won.
Well,
Now, Carina,
technically I won.
up until this moment, of course, spent all night. We've been talking about it for weeks upon weeks, but I've actually had to hold this close to my chest and I can't do it any longer. Carina, was it you that recorded that time or was it someone else?
It might have been my good friend Photoshop. I did spend forever on it though. To be fair, I did spend forever trying to beat it, but it just wasn't happening. I might actually have to replay that. What time did you get? I'm gonna retry. What time did you get?
No. F*** this podcast.
Like, no.
I'm done.
Drop the mic.
I can't believe it.
How did you? Oh yeah, you found out through you because we thought you disappeared, but you'd left your Connect on, and you found out.
So just to explain to you, they were still playing, I had my controller on, and you know when your controller disconnects, it comes through the TV?
Yeah.
So they were all still talking, it'd be a really good idea if we just photoshopped like everything. So I found out everything, and I didn't let on the fact that I knew about it.
Yeah. I can't believe you let me believe that so that means I have the highest time still.
Yeah, I think you do.
I believe
actually.
so.
What's your
But
highest
my
time?
challenges to Carina is that the time should still be on Rare Replay. So Carina, you never managed to do it the first time, but now you have to go on and find out exactly if you can beat Rhys or not.
I will do, and then I'll do it on the official leaderboard, so you know it's not
you had
Photoshop.
best. You had best. So Cuphead, yeah. I mean, sorry, I can't. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I've been playing Cuphead, and it looks great, and it plays great, and it sounds great. Oh yeah. But it's hard. It really is, especially in 2-player mode. The worst thing about it is it never feels like it's too hard. Like you get just far enough that you're like, damn, I can do this. And you go back and try again, basically. They've nailed that just one more try aspect of gameplay that's so addictive to many people. And, so I'm enjoying Cuphead. And I also tried very briefly, Super Hydora, which we talked about last week on the podcast. Did you guys try that out yet?
No.
Unfortunately, I haven't. I'm very, very excited to play it, but I ran out of time essentially by the time I got the game. So I'm looking forward to it after listening to the interview last week. But what's your thoughts on it?
Well, it's perfectly captured the Super Nintendo era of the side-scrolling shoot 'em up. It's slower paced than a lot of modern games are, but in a good way. It's not easy though. But I was having a giggle at the first boss. I was like, please, I've been playing Cuphead all week. Like, is this all you got, son? It looks really nice and it sounds really nice. And I only played the first level, so I'm looking forward to giving it another try. Although I have to giggle, and that's the fact that all the voices have obviously been provided by the staff. So everybody in the game speaks with like a really thick Spanish accent.
I want to give the game a go as well. I'll probably give it a go tomorrow night, I think. I'd really like to check it out after the interview last week. It's
so quick to just pick up and play. You just put the controller in your hand, press start, and you're playing within like 20 seconds.
Right. So for myself, this week I, of course, played Fortnite. I played a lot more of Cuphead, but FIFA has dominated my week. I am addicted to that game again. I I know. I've become a casual gamer.
Ew.
Destiny 2, now FIFA. I don't know what is going on with me. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but just to say, in my opinion, this has been the best FIFA yet, and I'm going to get lots of time playing it. So,
Ross, have you seen Jim Sterling's new YouTube series?
no? Is it about FIFA?
Well, no, it's called Commentocracy. Basically, what he does is he finds people who are like really hardcore gamers, quote unquote, and the ones who spew the most insane crap on Twitter and YouTube comments and stuff like that. And he reads out their comments verbatim, but in the style and character of like an 18th century aristocrat. So you becoming a casual is basically the worst possible thing. I recommend you watch it.
Yeah, and I've commented in some FIFA videos recently, so let's hope this does not happen. But, I think this is a good time to move on to the interview.
Yeah, why not?
So, coming up now is Matt Salsamendi from Mixer.
Xbox Snap This Week's Interview.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to this week's interview. Today we have an amazing guest. We have Matt Salsamendi, who is the co-founder of Mixer. Matt, welcome to the podcast.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us and taking some time out of your busy day to come and chat with us, plebs. So why don't we start things off nice and easy, and how about you basically just tell us a little bit about, who you are and how you got started off in this crazy tech world.
Totally. So, I've always been passionate about gaming. The story I tell everybody, I got a computer when I was 5 or 6 years old, and my mom set a desktop background that was like one of the default Windows XP ones. I really wanted to change it, and so I spent the whole day tinkering around trying to figure it out, and eventually figured out how to change my desktop background. And it's a silly story, but I've always loved tinkering with things and, trying to go against the path, whether that's my mom setting a desktop background or trying to make streaming more fun and interactive for people. So that's kind of been my passion. I started a game server hosting company when I was 13 years old. We grew that to become one of the world's largest game server providers. So we had a bunch of awesome team members, customers, infrastructure there. But we wanted to do more. We wanted to make a bigger impact, aside from just game servers, which is so cool. But we wanted to work with folks that we had been working with on YouTube and streamers that have been broadcasting on Twitch to make broadcasting even more interactive and serve a need that they had, which is to make their individual viewers feel like they were a part of the gameplay. So we launched a startup called Beam, kind of taking a bunch of our resources from the game server hosting company. We took a bunch of the infrastructure, a bunch of the team, some of the technology, and we launched our own independent startup trying to create a live streaming platform that we wanted to use, something that we enjoyed. We launched an alpha in 2014 and had a really cool journey kind of growing that and taking it to market. We launched our interactive platform. We launched super low latency broadcasting. So a lot of just really cool features that came through community feedback. Again, like I said, trying to build a live streaming platform that we wanted to use, something that felt engaging for us. And so we formally launched in January of 2016, and we announced that we were acquired by Microsoft in August of 2016, it was just a crazy cool journey. So that's kind of the short of it. That's kind of my background.
Yeah, wow.
For anyone who's living on Mars who doesn't know about Mixer, sell it to us. Give us your best sales pitch. Why should people be using Mixer today?
Yeah, so Mixer is all about allowing broadcasters and viewers to come together, right? So we start with super low latency broadcasts. You can stream yourself playing Xbox games, PC games. You can stream from a PlayStation using a capture card. You can stream wherever you are to Mixer with super low latency, less than 1 second of stream delay. And what that means is that you can actually interact with your chat, with your community in real time and form relationships with the people that are watching you and kind of enjoy participating in the game with them, which is a super cool foundation. From there, we have some pretty awesome ways to actually allow viewers to engage with the content itself. So we have our interactive platform for starters that allows viewers to actually change parts of the game while you're watching. So if you're watching someone play Minecraft, you can say spawn enemies for them to fight, create tools, weapons, all sorts of crazy stuff. And that all happens in real time as well. And then we've just focused a ton on, iterating based on customer feedback, adding features that people want to see. We just launched the ability to stream from your mobile phone, for example, both like a vlog style and also like mobile phone games, which is cool. iOS and Android for that. We just launched a feature called co-streaming, which lets you bring 4 of your friends together. I guess 3 of your friends technically together and stream something like PUBG, and you get to see all their different perspectives at the same time as a viewer. Just a lot of really cool features that make it feel more interactive and engaging, make you feel more a part of the community that is this like awesome thing that is broadcasting. And that's what we're all about. And I think one of the core foundational principles that we started the company on is it's all about listening to customers and building things that they want to see, improving aspects of the platform that we can always do better. And so I think having that kind of growth mindset is a really good thing. And so I think that's a great reason why you as a viewer or a streamer would want to come check out Mixer.
Awesome. That's perfect. I was going to say, Matt, I mean, you sort of started to go into it a little bit when you were giving your overview of yourself there, but I guess how did this go down that you just now decide, yeah, you know what, I'm going to start up my own streaming service? I mean, how did you come to that decision?
So, like I mentioned, at the game server hosting provider, I guess in more clarity, we had worked with a bunch of awesome YouTube and Twitch content creators to grow that platform. So our whole growth vertical is about partnering with YouTubers, Twitch streamers, all kinds of content creators, doing brand integration deals. So they would like promote our servers, and then we would give them a free one in exchange. And it was just this cool relationship. And eventually we formed friendships through that. And what we kept hearing from them consistently is that they wanted better ways to interact with their audience. So with YouTube, you have kind of this passive flow of comments after you upload a video. You could kind of incorporate that into your content, but it's definitely not in real time. And your viewers don't feel it, right? With Twitch, especially at the time, you had the chat room on the right-hand side, but the chat room wasn't super relevant to what was going on in the broadcast in a lot of cases. And when it was delayed, right? So you had something like 15 seconds of delay. Everybody's working on latency right now, so everybody's getting lower and faster, which I think is great, and it's something that we're always going to continue to pioneer on. But really, it still feels disconnected, right? So with Mixer, we wanted to go out and build something that was truly real time and where viewers actually felt like they could fundamentally participate in the content. And so that's where the interactive platform came from. That's where, our FTL streaming stack came from. Features like co-streaming help make that even better for more people. And bring that to everybody through Mixer Create and the Xbox app and things like that. I think, we're going to continue to do things like that.
Cool. So I've got maybe a hard question for you, but do you remember what the very first ever game that was streamed on your service was?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm pretty sure it was Minecraft. I'm pretty sure it was Minecraft. Because of the game server hosting provider being all about Minecraft, it's called MC Pro Hosting. It made a lot of sense that a lot of our first streamers were playing Minecraft.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, earlier you mentioned the name of, its original name, Beam. What made you change it to Mixer?
So we changed the name to Mixer kind of earlier in this year. It was in May. And really what we wanted to do was bring Beam at the time to more people, right? So we wanted to market it in more regions. We wanted to make it a truly global thing, expand the community that we had. And it wasn't something that we could do with the name Beam. So the name Mixer, I think, in essence, represents our desire to bring communities together. If you look at even our logo, it's got that, what we call the little merge icon, which is the 2 arrows pointing towards each other. And that's like the viewers and the streamers, if you think about it, as far as what it represents, coming together, which I think is really cool. So I think the name works well. It's a name that we can bring globally. So that's why we changed it.
Cool. Is there any rejected names that you would want to share?
I don't know. I can tell you that the very, very first domain that we registered was chili.cool. This was in, I guess it's 2014.
And you didn't go with that? Why?
Well, I don't know. Some names have this weird thing of growing on you after time. So who knows? Maybe if we went with that, it would feel normal today. But yeah, I'm sure the Google Facebooks of the day felt kind of weird. But
Matt, what's funny is when we were coming up with some of the questions that we wanted to ask you today, I was struggling to remember what the original name was. I've gotten so used to Mixer now that I've completely forgot about Beam was the original name.
It was Beam.
Yeah, I've got a real soft spot for Drunk Ross Plays FIFA at 3am.net. Is that not considered?
That just rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it?
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
or
I think it's available.
So, Matt, basically, I need to know what exactly kind of voodoo ritual sacrifice, was needed for this near zero stream latency. Like, it's amazing. Was it maybe satanic in nature? Were goats sacrificed? How did you pull that off?
Well, it was lots of late nights, I can tell you that much. Goats, but what we really did is we took a step back. We came from the game server hosting industry, which is kind of a parallel industry to video. I didn't have a whole lot of video experience myself. I think starting from that fresh slate was actually a really good thing because we could step back and evaluate technologies without kind of that confirmation bias, I guess you could say. Everybody was doing it one way. They were using a technology called HLS, which takes video and an incoming video stream and turns it into these like 4, 5, 6 second literal MP4 files that are sent across and downloaded and then played in a browser. And it's really not live streaming because, in essence, it's just a video that's playing that happens to be pretty close to what happened 6 seconds ago, right? So that's HLS. And that's what most people were doing because it was, widely supported by browsers. It was kind of a standard that had a bunch of traction around it. Around the same time that we kind of started working and exploring the idea, a technology called WebRTC started emerging. And WebRTC is really a completely different way of transporting video and audio signals across the web. It's built for video conferencing. So, Discord, for example, Skype, some of them are using WebRTC today to do their audio video streaming. And so we said, how can we take WebRTC, this real-time video conferencing tech, and make it work in a live streaming scenario where you have potentially tens of thousands of people watching. And so we kind of approached it with that fresh slate, taking something that wasn't really built to do what we were doing, and we made it work. And it's actually pretty cool in the way that the technology works. It's sending the data in true real time, so it uses UDP to do all the transfer. It's lossy, so a lot of what we do is around correcting for things like packet loss and out of order packets. So it's a lot of work. We spent a lot of time up front, so it was a lot of late nights. But it's definitely very, very cool tech, and it allows you to get something on the order of 200 milliseconds of stream delay, so 0.2 of a second of latency. It's unheard of. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, with the low latency of all the games, you on Mixer you have quite a variety streamed, but do you have any idea what's the most favourite streamed game?
It totally changes. I think that's one of the cool things about games. They're always evolving, and even existing games are coming in and out of popularity, which is cool to see. PUBG is huge right now. Hands down with things like co-streaming, it's a great experience on the platform. I love seeing a bunch of indie stuff on the platform. Forza just launched, and you get a ton of people going and crashing cars into each other and racing to the finish. So I enjoy that a lot. It's always cool to see, I think, new and fresh content. So it changes month to month, year to year. So it's hard for me to pick a single thing. But definitely some of the ones I talked about are big.
Now, the features in Mixer seem very much for gamers, by gamers. Were the features like the streamer interaction, leveling up, born out of your own desire as a gamer for the things that you wish you could have had on other streaming services?
Absolutely. I was a big Twitch fan. I still am. I still watch a bunch of Twitch streamers. They have an awesome community over there. But I think there's a lot that we can do that's interesting and differentiated that makes streaming more fun. And so that, like I said, that kind of was the story. We worked with a bunch of Twitch streamers to kind of focus in on the things that they want to see. Myself as a Twitch viewer, we built a platform that, we ourselves wanted to watch. So things like the level up, like the gamification elements are really cool. It's all built around interactivity and making people feel like they're a part of the community, though. That's always our North Star.
Awesome. I was going to ask, did you ever expect this level of success so fast with Mixer?
I kind of went into it without expectations because, like I said, it really is true that we wanted to build something that we wanted to see. It wasn't a business at first. Eventually, we made it a business. But it started as this side project from the game server hosting company to build a live streaming platform without much of there wasn't an end goal then. It was the end goal really was making something fun. When we turned it into a business, we obviously wanted to see growth, and we wanted to keep the community growing and stoke the fire, so to speak. In terms of the acquisition, I can't say I expected that.
Good morning, Matthew. I'm here from Microsoft. Here's a bunch of money.
It was definitely very cool. I mean, we were based in Seattle, and Microsoft is here in Redmond, which is just across the lake. And so for a while, Microsoft was kind of this being that existed that kind of powered the Puget Sound, that powered Seattle. But we didn't really interact with folks here.
The Lovecraftian entity across the water.
That's not how I meant it, but we weren't super involved initially, and I was very much a PC gamer, not so much on Xbox myself, but I know my co-founder James was. So for me, it was a lot that when we started talking with the Microsoft folks, the fact that we were very aligned in terms of our focus on customers was really cool to see. In talking with Phil, his focus all about the gamers, all about creating things that they want to see. That was a huge part of the reason why we did the acquisition, just the ability to grow our community but still preserve what makes Mixer and I guess Beam at the time awesome. I think it's the best of both worlds.
So what's it like working with such a big company like Microsoft?
Well, it's pretty cool. There's also some parts that can be intimidating. It's such a huge company, and the question for us is how do we leverage all of the work that's going on across the org and make Mixer better and hopefully contribute back. If you look at what we did with our Xbox integration, I think that's huge. The ability to stream straight from Xbox and Windows 10 with a couple clicks of a button. You don't need to download extra streaming tools. You can if you want to, but you don't need to. And I think that's a huge way to get more people streaming, more young people interested in the idea. We have tons of teenagers that are playing video games, tons of adults that are playing video games that want to start streaming, and we're making it ridiculously easy for them to do that. And hopefully, grow from there. So that's really cool. And just continuing to explore opportunities with Azure, for example. Azure has a ton of technology that I think we can leverage to make Mixer awesome for more people. And so it's just there's so many opportunities. It's intimidating what we go out and do.
That's neat. I actually just want to quickly touch on what you said about how easy you make it. Man, for me, streaming was always just a complete pain in the butt. It was just a hassle, more trouble than it was worth. But now I stream on Mixer just because all I have to do is press a button. It's magic, really.
Yeah, and I'd done a whole charity stream that was based upon us co-streaming with other people.
Yeah.
And it was just 12 hours, and it was so easy because you made that feature that I could be on my PC doing the introductions, and then I'm just co-hosting with someone who then takes over from me. It was like having my own production studio between a laptop and an Xbox. It was just brilliant and so easy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, Matt, I want to ask, you briefly touched on Minecraft, you playing that in the past. I want to know, what games did you start off with as a kid? You're obviously a gamer. Was there any particular games that were your gateway drug into gaming?
Yeah, so I, let's think. Age of Empires, first of all.
My man.
I had a Windows 98 laptop that had the Age of Empires 1 Rise of Rome trial on it. And that's actually how I kind of got hooked. First, it was really difficult because I was 6 or 7. Eventually, I figured out how to play it, and I just spent so much time just being a completionist about that because that's all I had. I didn't have an internet connection, maybe dial-up if I connected to my parents. If I did that, right, this was, it's not that long ago, but 2003, 2004 feels like forever ago to me. So I started with Age of Empires a lot. I played a bunch of Lego games, so Lego Rock Raiders. I don't know if anybody's played that.
I have, actually.
Yeah, I was a huge Lego Rock Raiders fan. Like I said, I just went super completionist on that and created these huge bases that you wouldn't normally make to just finish the campaigns. But had a lot of fun on that. Lego Creator I spent a lot of time on. Then as I kind of got older, I played a lot of Battlefield. So Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3. I played a ton of DayZ, thousands of hours of DayZ, the alpha mod when it came out. When DayZ came out, when MC Pro Hosting, the game server hosting company, was kind of just starting to grow. And we had a summer where, me and my co-founder and a couple of our team just played DayZ, and it was actually kind of bad because our support queues, we were all playing DayZ, and I hate to admit that, but, was a little too far into that. So, luckily, course corrected from that. But, I was definitely I'm a survival guy, simulation guy. I love games where you can kind of take it deep and go do your own thing. And then also some of the Twitch style games like Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, where it's just all about FPS and going out and having some fun.
Is there any games that you're looking forward to, like any releases that you're hyped for coming out?
Well, I just played a game called Oxenfree.
Oh, it's really good. Yeah.
I had a lot of fun playing that. I'm going to go play it again, do some different options. I didn't expect that. I just found it on some YouTube video, and I had a lot of fun playing that. As for what I'm hyped about, Forza Motorsport 7 just came out. I had a ton of fun playing that at E3, and while that was in dev. I haven't had a chance to play it too much at home yet, but I'm definitely, I want to get on that. I want to get my wheels set up. We just moved houses, so I got to get some of that rolling.
Nice. Now, I have a third last question for you, and that's basically essentially on a scale of 1 to holy crap. Just how awesome should we expect the future of Mixer to be, like for cool features coming up? Because I know you can't tell me.
Yeah, I struggle with the questions where the scale is ambiguous. I can say.
Well, you can replace holy crap with 10 if you like. I was just tempted to be funny.
It's probably 10. I might be biased. There's so much stuff that we can do to completely differentiate the foundation of the platform, right? So things that you take for granted, that we can do really interesting, unique things on. The other thing that we're going to focus a lot on is quality, stability, which, is kind of to be expected, but as the platform grows, being able to support larger events and things like that as the community grows is, I think, really important. But like I said, kind of innovating on those foundations while we build that, the technology on other platforms. Feature parity on mobile, I think, is a big thing. So I know that's something that the community has voiced a lot of feedback about. So improving our mobile experience, improving the Xbox experience. I can't talk too much about the specific new features, but you should keep them out.
Okay, I'm excited though. You sold me.
Awesome.
Now, you've mentioned on Twitter as well that we've noticed that you've got a new EP coming out. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about your music?
Yes. So it's just a hobby. I enjoy, music production. I've always liked listening to indie electronic, indie pop, synth pop. And I kind of started taking a stab at making it last year when we were a startup, when the office was all quiet. I would, pop open Ableton and just start writing some lines and just having some fun with it. And then this year I kind of got to the point with my music where I felt like I wanted to release something for kind of the Mixer community and something that I thought that they might enjoy, just as a hobby. And so my first EP, is on the way. I can't say exactly when it's coming out because I don't know, but you should keep an eye out. You can always follow me on Twitter. I always, tweet new music and things like that. It's fun. I enjoy it.
Matt, we here at the Party Chat podcast are all about giving people their big break, okay? And what I really want to know from you, I couldn't even stay straight asking that, to be honest. What I want to ask you is the track that you posted on Twitter the other day, would you consider letting a podcast use that as their introduction music?
Totally. Absolutely. You're more than welcome to use any of my tracks.
We'll maybe sort that out now later.
Yeah.
There is one last question which I would love to ask you. Now, this has been quite easy so far, the whole interview. Nothing too tough, nothing you've never answered before. But what Reddit users and our listeners want to know is which classic video game character could you knock out with one punch?
Oh, wow. Okay, that's quite the question. I have never been asked that before.
I'm glad.
Which classic video game character? I liked a lot of I played a bunch of Super Mario. This is embarrassing because I forget the name of this thing, but what's the little dinosaur?
Yoshi.
Yes, I
hate Yoshi.
Know why. You punch out Yoshi?
Oh.
Dude, you're vicious. he's so innocent.
In a cute way. That sounds horrible.
Well, we had Major Nelson on here, and he said Frogger. So animals are a recurring theme with people.
Duck
I mean, I don't
dog.
want to punch a person. I also don't want to punch an animal, but
If it could be a dinosaur, they're extinct. They don't mind.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
I also feel like Yoshi would like make it like I feel like Yoshi is the most relatable as like a plush toy. Like I feel like it would just squeak and that would be it.
Yeah, okay. I have a Yoshi plush, so I can confirm that, actually.
Okay, I wouldn't want to hurt it.
Matt, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. That's all we have for you. We love Mixer, so thanks for that. It's kind of neat. And we are really excited to see what you guys do with Mixer and with Xbox in the future. And thanks again, and see you later.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.
So thank you, Matt, for taking the time to join us. I don't know about you guys, but I thoroughly enjoyed that interview, and I cannot wait to see what is next in store for Mixer.
Oh, it's very exciting times.
Sea of Thieves, that's going to be the big game on there, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, we've already discussed that the four of us are going to be doing co-streaming together. It's going to be great. That game is like almost like it was designed for co-streaming.
I need to order a pirate hat.
You do. I have a couple spare. I can send you one.
Ooh, okay.
Probably cheaper to buy one than
Actually
post it from
shipping.
Finland.
Yeah, but I mean, it didn't come from Finland then.
Yeah, that's true.
Eh?
Just buy one. Don't give Finland money. They've got enough of their own. Well, we're at the point of the year just before all the AAA releases come out, so there isn't much news to talk about at all. So we are going to end the podcast here. But before we do, Rhys has some details about an exciting giveaway that we're going to do on Twitter.
Yes, I happen to have a spare code lying around in my treasure chest for Super Hydora. And for one lucky listener on Twitter, it's going to be yours. You just have to basically stay tuned on Twitter and good luck.
So yeah, we'll be posting the competition on Thursday, but we will allow you the weekend to listen to the podcast before we close the competition over. So make sure you're following us at Party Chat Pod on Twitter to get details of that competition. But guys, thank you so much for joining me for another week. Hopefully we've got some news next week, as I believe Shadow of War comes out. So
that'll be exciting.
We should have some more. Yeah. So for another week, Xbox, turn off.
You're listening to Xbox One Party Chat Podcast, the official podcast of the Xbox One subreddit.
It's settled. Let's do this.
2,
1,
mark.
That sounded really good. Like, everyone sounded pretty much in
We're on
sync.
point.
Not in sync.
No,
we've done
that.
I want you back.